Friends who follow an earth-based spiritual path just celebrated Ostara last week. It always falls at the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. It's a time to celebrate new life and all the good things that come with spring. Now, it doesn't take an etymologist to see the correlation among the words Ostara, estrus, meaning the most fertile time for reproduction, and Easter. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos Interfaith Center, where we are fascinated with words and their origins. Because Ostara is a much older holiday than the relatively new Christian one, I believe that the Christians adopted the egg and rabbit ideas of new birth as their own, because nowhere in the Bible are rabbits or eggs associated with the death and resurrection of Jesus. But the word resurrection does appear in the Bible. As it is used there, it means the restoration of life to a person who has been physically dead. Now, whether or not you believe that the body of the man Jesus disappeared from the borrowed tomb, whether or not you believe he appeared later as a restored being, does not matter to the idea that you can believe he was the most perfect example of how to live a life on earth that was rooted in the highest form of justice, humility, and love. He can be your shining star. I offer this because lately I've been engaged in more than one conversation with people who are stuck on the details of the Holy Week story. They wonder why it matters that Jesus was placed in a borrowed tomb. They wonder about the significance of the linens that were found in the tomb, because the expected crumpled linens were accompanied by a folded cloth that had been near his head. They wondered if they could ever wrap their arms around the idea of God creating us broken so that we would need someone to come along and rescue us. All good doubts and questions. But I don't think we have to understand or agree with the details to embrace Jesus on this Easter morning as our guide, the most wonderful prophet, and the wisest human being that he was. He is risen will be spoken in churches around the world this day, with throngs of people answering, "He is risen indeed." My young family used to spend the Easter holiday with my in-laws. My mother-in-law would greet me first thing on Easter Sunday with that phrase, and I was expected to give the appropriate response. Now, I really liked my mother-in-law, sweet woman with a lot of wisdom. But that one phrase made me bristle. It was the fact that it was scripted, and I had to say the right thing back. I had a role to play, and I didn't believe any of it. So I felt like a phony. But I obliged and went along with it, and then turned to helping her present a great meal for the whole tribe. Nowadays, I have a deeper sense of what the whole picture means. Talking and learning about the resurrection of Jesus is to prompt us to consider where in our lives do we need a restoration of life? What has died? What has become so casual that we take it for granted, and shouldn't we? What part of me has shrunk and needs some life pumped back into it so I can be of service to my community in a better way? That's where resurrection makes sense to me. And I ask of you, where has the life gone out of you? What needs to be restored? Easter is a resurgence of light, of good air, of getting outside and communing with nature more. How does this all affect you? Jesus is risen. That may be so, but I want to apply all that surrounded that event to my life now. It's so much more than just answering a scripted phrase. It's living so that my life carries the light and the power and the strength that it can to serve my neighbors, to bring awareness to those whose eyes and ears and hearts are closed, and to protect the frail, the lonely, and the hurt ones among us. May we munch on a Cadbury egg while contemplating our next move, stepping out of the tomb and getting on with creating a world that is beautiful. Blessings on all.